Thanks for joining us on National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up, 13 more Chinese scholarships for Dominican students, the USNS Comfort personnel reach out to the community, and the Honorable Finance Minister reports on the employment outlook for the 2015-2016 fiscal year. Details of our headline stories and others after this.
Black Sikatoka se yo maladi ki ka affecte feuille figue epi banane. Maladi sa la ke weste a lese feuille la apre ou tire yo hod plan la. Pa seve feuille figue epi banane ko cushion le ou ka mene dawe la place ebi lot pays. Pa chaye feuille figue epi banane tout partout. Sa ke détruit figue epi banane a pays la. Anou vini asam pou nou protéger dawe pays nou. Department Agriculture.
Thanks for staying with us. The People's Republic of China continues to make a meaningful contribution to the development of Dominica's youth. On Wednesday, 13 nationals were presented admission notices to pursue tertiary education in China at an award ceremony of the Chinese government 2015 scholarship program. His Excellency Ambassador Li Jiangning encouraged students to be prepared for a complete transition.
First, be prepared for culture shock and other challenges. We are two countries on the opposite side of the earth, of different histories, cultures. Our national conditions are quite different. China is a country of 9.6 million square kilometers, 1.3 billion people with a continuous civilization for a few thousand years. As such, China would appear quite different from Dominica on first sight, as one place in China would be from another. But both China and Dominica are developing countries. As a developing country, the development is uneven from place to place in China, with a relatively developed eastern coastal region and metropolises like Beijing, Shanghai, Tianjin, Guangzhou, etc., a vast underdeveloped interior western region and the countryside. You also find people in your classmates speak quite different dialects from each other.
According to Ambassador Li, this is an opportunity to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries.
The point of going to university is twofold. One is to learn from books, teachers, in the classrooms and libraries. The basic goal, if you will, but the higher one, possibly the more important one, is to learn from and interact with each other outside the country. The Chinese people are friendly, hospitable people, especially to guests from afar, just as the saying goes, having a friend afar brings distant land near. The Chinese students are like young people everywhere, inquisitive, interested to know more. Since our two countries are far apart geographically, you will be Dominica that many Chinese people will ever know about. So talk about Dominica to your classmates, teachers, and people who meet in China. Its history, culture, people. While you are at it, don't forget to mention Golden Lake, Red Rock, the rainforest, and colorful houses along the coasts, and many more that only you know. You can be ambassadors of both countries and help bring our two peoples and countries closer.
The ambassador informed that the scholarship covers comprehensive medical insurance, living expenses, tuition, and lodging. Also in attendance were the Honorable Education and Human Resource Development Minister Peter Seja, the Honorable Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Minister Francine Baron, and Honorable Senator Jaiza Benoit. Honorable Seja spoke to government's policy on education, reaffirming the Labour Party government's persistence in this sector. The Honorable Education Minister relayed to China's ambassador government's appreciation for his country's continued assistance in education.
We do not take this support lightly because the gift of education comes at a time when it is even more imperative that our citizens be trained and given the necessary skills to function and compete effectively in a changing environment. I believe that in an age of advancing knowledge and unprecedented advancements in education, that education indeed remains a major priority of this government as we seek to better the lives of our people. Therefore, as government, we continue to hold in very high regard the contribution of the Chinese government to our human resource development. The government of Dominica is fully cognizant of the magnitude of this gesture of friendship and goodwill.
Honorable Seja says this is a clear indication of amicable friendship that exists between Dominica and China. Meantime, the Honorable Francine Baron described the Dominica-China relations as genuine friendship.
Dominica-China bilateral relations continue to grow steadily, and China remains one of our most significant bilateral partners. I would like to take this opportunity to highlight the significant contribution that China has made to Dominica's human resource development in the last 10 years. This may not be as clearly visible as the various infrastructural development projects, such as the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, the Rosa to Portsmouth Road Rehabilitation Project, the new Dominica Grammar School, or the housing projects funded by the government of the People's Republic of China. However, China's contributions to Dominica's human resource development is one of the major landmarks of our relations. They seek not only to fulfill Dominica's capacity building needs, but also to promote people-to-people contact, increase cultural exchanges, and develop proficiency in a foreign language. That is becoming increasingly important in the international arena.
Since the two countries established bilateral ties, more than 140 Dominican students have benefited from the program. Over 1,000 nationals have benefited from training programs in China as well. In upcoming weeks, Kimon Ferrell, Mitzi Didier, Kimran Lazar, Vilma Lewis, Kersey Augustine, Darren George, Tess Honoré, Dr. Shane McIntyre, Kushel George, Itoma James, Monique Anthony, Kirchard Geist, and Shanita John will depart the Nature Isle to pursue studies in various disciplines. In other news, the United States Navy ship Comfort is reaching out to the community while on its continuing Promise 2015 mission here in Dominica. On Thursday, the staff of the mission made a presentation of sporting gear to the football academies of Newtown and Pottersville. Captain Commander Bradley is overseeing this activity.
And we came out to actually interact and play with these fine young boys and these soccer players today and give them, well, I would like to think we're giving them a lesson in soccer, but they're probably giving us a lesson in soccer. We really enjoy this. It's great for the sailors to interact with the local community, and we're going to be providing some balls and actually some donations of jerseys to help their outreach program here in the community.
He explained that sporting activities like this is just one of the ways through which the mission reaches out to the community.
Along with providing surgical care and actual primary care at the medical sites in each country, we do several different types of community relationships, even with our chaplains. We have CBs that actually do construction projects and improve community centers and or other various government buildings or community buildings. And this is just one of the other outreaches that we do.
Director of the Pottersville Youth Sports Academy, Simpson Gregoire, is pleased by this assistance. His academy meets once a week to engage children between the ages of 7 and 14. They do drills and entertain friendly matches with other academies in nearby communities.
Also, we work with the kids to try and instill discipline, because one of the things we have seen, kids coming from different households, you find they have different ways of acting. So when they get into the academy, this is where we try to mold them into young men. So we take pleasure in doing that. And the mere fact these kids are out there on a day like today, which they would be home thinking of something to do. Here they are this morning. You have kids from the Pottersville Youth Sports Academy, kids from the Newtown Youth Sports Academy, kids from the Wayne George Youth Sports Academy, and having fun with some of the soldiers from the US Comfort. And also want to, in saying so, I also want to thank Mr. Roach from the Community Development for for getting us all together on such a day.
Director of the Newtown Juvenile Football Academy, Don Leogal, is also grateful for the donation.
Our academy runs between the period of September to July every year. Every Saturday we conduct sessions on the Dominica Savannah. During the year also we try to engage ourselves in activities with other academies around the country and generally help to improve the standard of football in Dominica at the youth level. And we are very grateful that this American Navy medical ship can come out this morning and interact with the kids of the Newtown Academy and the Pottersville Academy and generously made the contribution this morning to the academies.
The event was organized by the Youth Division of the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs.
The volunteers on the ship wanted to have a community relation activity in Dominica, and particularly a football event. And then they also informed me that they have some footballs and some jerseys to present to the kids. So then I thought of the two well-known academies in the Roseau area, namely the Newtown Football Academy and the Pottersville Sports Academy. And I contacted their coaches and their coordinators and so on, and then we put it together. And I'm very happy that the youth division was able to make it happen in terms of putting it together.
And of course, the children were excited to receive the gifts and thrilled to get the opportunity to engage in friendly matches with the U.S. Navy personnel while being entertained by the USNS Comfort musical band. The next step for Dominica's renowned geothermal plant project is expected to begin within this financial year. So far, 1 production well and 2 re-injection wells have been established. The Honorable Finance Minister told the nation in his budget address that in the meantime, the legal framework is being developed.
Within the next 2 months, we expect to conclude negotiations with the French Investment Consortium, who are partnering with us in a joint venture to build and operate the domestic plant and the plant to export electricity to Guadeloupe and Martinique. The Geothermal Development Bill, a critical piece of legislation to facilitate investment in geothermal energy, has been drafted and will be tabled in Parliament by the end of September 2015. Funding has been identified for the construction of the domestic plant. Both the World Bank and the Agence Française de Développement, AFD, have offered financing under the highly concessional terms, and discussions in that regard are ongoing.
With that announcement, the Honorable Prime Minister revealed that the island is positioned to get the best deal to finance the domestic plant.
Madam Speaker, the World Bank came here to Dominica to offer us money to finance the small plant. There was a presentation to the Cabinet, but we have a situation where the Agence Française de Développement is also offering us money to finance this plant. So what we're doing now, Madam Speaker, is that we have held back our application to the World Bank, and we are negotiating for the best terms possible to borrow this money. So I believe in the next 2 weeks, Madam Speaker, we'll be in a position to determine whether we go with the World Bank or we go with the AFD, based on the best terms of lending that we can receive from this institution, Madam Speaker. So at the end of the day, that will play an important role in the cost of the geothermal plant and, of course, the resultant cost of the energy to the consumers in Dominica. So had it not been for our negotiations with these 2 firms, we would have been even more advanced with regards to the construction of the geothermal plant.
Construction on the plant should begin in 2016 and it should be commissioned on completion in 2018. You're watching National Focus. Still to come, the Ministry of Education takes 16.5% of the $500 million budget. Stay with us.
Dominica is blessed with an abundance of water, but getting it to your home is an expensive venture. You have a responsibility to conserve water, to use it wisely. Remember the old adage, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. Think water, think life.
Welcome back. The Honorable Minister for Youth, Sports, Culture and Constituency Empowerment, Justina Charles, says education remains the main tool for youth empowerment in Dominica. With the growing concern of youth unemployment around the world, the Honorable Minister says avenues provided for the youth by the Labour Party administration are proving fruitful by giving the tools to the youth for success. One of the areas highlighted by the Minister in her address to Parliament on Monday was the Youth Development Division.
The Youth Development Division ensures that on an annual basis we provide opportunities for other areas of development. Skills training is an annual program, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, we offer training in various modules, and I can itemize some of them, Madam Speaker. Computer literacy. Madam Speaker, in today's day and age, everybody should be computer literate. Building maintenance, Madam Speaker. Auto mechanics, plumbing, drywall construction, hairstyling, home appliance repair, auto spray painting, small engine repairs. And in addition to that, we do life skills. Because, Madam Speaker, the Youth Division believes in the holistic development of our young people. We provide them with skill, we encourage them to do their academic and to see how well they can do in terms of their CXCs. And Madam Speaker, we provide them with life skills so that they can be guided as they go on.
Other avenues for the youth interested in entrepreneurship include the Dominica Youth Business Trust.
The Labour Party government, Madam Speaker, set money aside at the Aid Bank so that our young people, after being exposed to developing their work plan, they are not left to wonder, where do I get money? And Madam Speaker, we provide 100% guarantee on the loan that is given to the young people so that they can begin their businesses. Some of them have already started their business, and so we give support for the further development of those businesses. Madam Speaker, that is all in an effort to ensure that we can allow our young people to become gainfully employed.
The Honorable Minister says the Youth Development Division will continue to train and certify young people across the country. In more education news, the Ministry of Education has been allocated $66.8 million for capital and recurrent projects in this year's budget. The Honorable Finance Minister listed those new investments in education in the House of Parliament last Friday, July 24th.
During the fiscal year, the following direct jobs are being created, Madam Speaker. We're talking about 250 jobs in the banana and plantain industry, for example. 28 skilled and unskilled workers will be engaged in the abattoir. 22 workers will be engaged full-time at the coffee plant. 46 poultry farmers will now have sustained employment. 500 workers will be engaged in the construction of the Range Kempinski Hotel, which will commence in this fiscal year, Madam Speaker. Placement for 13 new graduates on the National Employment Program and continuing engagement of over 400 interns. 10 full-time employees will be engaged in the park houses, and additional officers will be taken on in a part-time basis based on the level of activity. In addition to those highlighted, we expect that the investments being made will create additional jobs.
According to his report, activity in the education sector expanded by 6.1% in 2014, fueled mainly by movements in private education. This subsector registered growth of 7.9%. Public education recorded growth of 2.8%, following a contraction of 2.4% in 2013. According to the Honorable Prime Minister, projections for the sector suggest a further expansion of 3.2% in 2015. In other news, the Honorable Finance Minister and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, in Tuesday's sitting of Parliament, responded to critics of the newly reinstated meat tax. Honorable Skerrit stated in his budget address that to encourage support for local meat producers, previously reduced rates will be reinstated. The taxes range from 5 to 30% on beef, minced meat, liver, and others. Critics of that move have been told that this is Dominica's way of protecting its investments.
The world's largest economy is subsidizing its production to export. And we know, Madam Speaker, that we're getting the last kakarot on quality meat. That's the last, we don't get good quality. The local meat, Madam Speaker, the local meat is something we should promote. It is healthier, Madam Speaker. But the same import bill that the member for Rosa Central is concerned about, it is when we can produce our own stuff and sell it to our stuff instead of importing. That will assist in reducing it. So I would have thought that they come here and talk about agriculture. Agriculture. And they're not supporting a measure to support local production. Every country does that. Every country does that. Sometimes countries will pose a health alert on your import of certain meats from other country just to protect theirs. They find all sorts of ways around WTO. All sorts of ways around WTO to impose certain sanctions on importation of certain goods from your country. But as a small country, Madam Speaker, we have to find clever ways to protect our small manufacturers, clever ways to protect our small businesses, clever ways to protect our farmers. That's what we're doing.
The employment outlook for this new financial year is encouraging based on the 2015-2016 national budget. The Honorable Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance, Hector Skerrit, listed the number of jobs to be created by capital projects.
During the fiscal year, the following direct jobs are being created, Madam Speaker. We're talking about 250 jobs in the banana and plantain industry, for example. 28 skilled and unskilled workers will be engaged in the abattoir. 22 workers will be engaged full-time at the coffee plant. 46 poultry farmers will now have sustained employment. 500 workers will be engaged in the construction of the Range Kempinski Hotel, which will commence in this fiscal year, Madam Speaker. Placement for 13 new graduates on the National Employment Program and continuing engagement of over 400 interns. 10 full-time employees will be engaged in the pack houses, and additional officers will be taken on in a part-time basis based on the level of activity. In addition to those highlighted, we expect that the investments being made will create additional jobs.
In addition to those direct jobs, other institutions are being empowered to create even more jobs.
Reference is made to the funding made available to the Aid Bank, the Dominica Youth Business Trust, and the National Development Foundation of Dominica to on-lend to qualifying businesses. A number of small and micro businesses will continue to receive technical and financial support from government's small business support unit. Madam Speaker, the National Employment Program was introduced in December 2013 with the purpose of enhancing the employment opportunities of the unemployed and the underemployed by placing them in a work environment where they would acquire the skills and attitudes that are necessary to obtain and to hold on to a job.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole, non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, ministre Sport, Honorable Justin Charles, qui a bien supporté le budget 2015-2016 qui passait en Parlement. Ministre Charles fait parole que le budget salam, c'est une réflexion réalité qui a existé en environ pays.
Nous n'y pouvons garder le budget là
compte tout ça qui a fait nous, tout ça qui a fait Dominique, et vers 8 jours, et vers en latte, et vers nous pour dire, et vers l'argent, et vers manière situation où on latte, nous tout en Dominique, ni pour prendre mesures qui ça aide nous manage l'argent à nous meilleur. So mon cadet budget là c'est un budget qui relevant à l'air ça là avec tout ça nous savons qui a fait nous savons nous ne pouvons comment nous ça fait nous comment nous ça generate plus l'argent pour rester en dans country en même là nous ne pouvons comment nous ça fait pour adresser en partie ces problèmes là nous ni en country là.
Ministre Culture et spécialement industrie musique qu'a tapé attention.
En manière qualité, ou tant Prime Minister l'a dit, il mettait nous ni $300,000 là pour aider un monde qui a fait musique. Et pas 300, c'est $500,000 pour monde qui a chanté avec en musique. Avec ça, c'est pour aider développer musique là, parce que nous savons nous y autant jeunes monde Dominique qui n'y autant talent. Et nous attendons ça, nous ouais comment yo même involve en toutes différentes manières musique. So nous les comment nous ça aider industrie musique là développer. Et ces jeunes monde comment nous ça aider développer talent yoni. Mais yoni pour venir ensemble pour commencer garder compte ça qui a fait en musique avec comment nous ça commencer move forward en la musique so yo même ça fait recommendation avec nous que yo que dit ça yo te que vle nous que assise nous que garder ça avec comment nous ça servir l'argent ça là pour faire musique pour développer industrie musique en Dominique.
Autre nouvelle, ministère Kalinago, honorable Cassius Darou, qui a bien supporté le budget 2015-2016 qui passait en parlement. Sinon, honorable Darou, bagay développement pour Kalinago, qu'a recevoir attention.
Le budget ça m'a vraiment calculé que budget ça a mené un bon développement pour mon Kalinago avec mon Atkinson and Chisel. Parce que le budget la nouvelle l'argent, le gouvernement a mis l'argent sur côté pour un monument par exemple. Et si on a changé plus bonne l'année nous sommes venus au parlement pour discuter pour changer nom Carib to Kalinago et ça fait. Mais le gouvernement a plus actuellement a mis en vision vision biton ça avoué qui a un impact pour ça représenter et dire respecter mon Kalinago pour ça j'ai fait bas pays. Aussi pour première fois liste mon Kalinago nous avons $0.5 million pour nous développer small business. Nous avons regardé les affaires craft industry, nous avons regardé small cottage industry. Et c'est différents bagages là qui ça stimule les affaires économique activity en place Kalinago. En Sinéku par exemple actuellement nous avons créé bagages community tourism. Là il a développé différentes activités pour ça aider monde pour prendre l'avantage des affaires bagages qui engager bagages touristes. So nous avons fait toutes ces bagages là pour faire certain que monde Kalinago ça de l'argent pour ça dépenser.
Et puis, le ministère fait présentation en tablette pour un étudiant Jerry Auguste de l'école Concord qui gagne une compétition poster ITU. Le ministère Télécoms, honorable Kelvin Darou, fait présentation cadeau là pour Auguste pendant une petite cérémonie l'année.
Et puis aujourd'hui là, nous avons une présentation pour un jeune book, M. Jerry Auguste. Jerry Auguste, il gagne un poster competition pour ITU. ITU, c'est International Telecommunication Union. Et puis, M. Auguste, tapé à WhatsApp, là, petit, il tenait un bel poster. Et puis, ça, c'est poster là, il était des pics. Et puis, poster là, il dit comment ICT hard actuellement, 2015. Et puis, comment ICT qui hard 2065. Et puis, je dis congratulations pour M. Auguste. Et puis, pour l'école Concord, premier, il est sorti. Et puis, pour tout le monde qui va de M. Auguste, pour gagner la compétition, ça là. Et puis, je dis pour tout le monde, c'est ces jeunes là, pour mettre effort en ICT. Et puis, ça fait taper succès.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole. Pour à présent, non moins, c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, 2 uses for hydrogen peroxide.
You're watching GIS.
It's well known that the common hydrogen peroxide has many uses, but did you know that you can use it for hygiene? A cup full of hydrogen peroxide can be used as a mouth rinse to help whiten teeth and kill germs that can cause bad breath. You can also soak toothbrushes in hydrogen peroxide to kill staph bacteria and other germs common in the bathroom environment. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GISNewsDominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thank you for watching.